All right, so we were off last week, most of last week. I had the incredible opportunity to travel to Paris, where I had never been before. Lewis, you've been to Paris. It's been many years, though, right?
I think I was 13 when I was there.
Right, so it's been like 3 or 4 years, I guess, that if my math is right. So the trip started off with a ride from a cab company, a car service, which took us to the airport, okay? Everything's going great. Now, most of the drivers for this particular car service are Spanish speakers. And I got in and I noticed that this guy had an Arabic name. So I said, oh, okay, different driver. I've not met this guy before. Great. So we start talking and he says he's from Yemen and everything's going fine and on and on. And he talks about how his children currently are actually living in Yemen and how he moved to the US only 7 or 8 years ago. And the guy speaks almost perfect, flawless English. I was completely shocked because he learned English at like 23 years old, Lewis, which I've never met anyone who learned English at that age and had such little accent. And everything's going fine. Great guy. And all of a sudden, he starts dropping incredibly anti-gay statements all over me. They were raining down on me, just all over the place. And he starts saying that his really big concern, the reason his kids are back in Yemen is, since he was brought up in Yemen, he was taught that he doesn't want to choose to be gay. And in New York City, there's a lot of gay people in his mind, and he wouldn't want his kids choosing to be gay. They might be influenced. And I said, the science doesn't support that people choose to be gay. I mean, I wasn't having a political debate per se, but I was just very calmly telling the driver of the vehicle that he may want to revisit this. And he says, no, I think you do. And I said, well, when did you choose to be straight? And he said, when I was a kid. And I said, so when you were a kid, you had a period of time where you said, right now, I could decide to be attracted to men or to be attracted to women, and you chose women? And he said, no, I just knew I was attracted to women. I said, well, exactly. That's how it is for people who are gay. They just know they're always attracted to men. And let me just say, it didn't really convince him of much. And I tried to, at this point, I was just sitting quietly the rest of the time. And at the end of the trip, he said, I'd love to give you rides next time you fly somewhere. Just request me when you call up. I said, sure. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to be requesting this guy. It was quite awkward. At the same time, it was interesting because he explained that he recognizes his views are completely informed by how he was brought up in Yemen, and that he knows, like he thought when I explained to him, well, you never chose to be straight, that he has been told not to believe that type of stuff. He was fully cognizant that it is his religious upbringing in the Middle East that gave him these views, and that he very well would have different views had he been raised somewhere else.
That's better than just the other side of that, right? I mean, at least he's aware and he admits that that's what's going on.
He's basically saying this has been ingrained into me and it's pretty tough for me to see it any other way, but I'm interested in what you're telling me. So anyway, it was interesting. It was very different than speaking to someone like Brian Fisher or someone from the God Hates Fags church. It was also particularly disturbing because, this is just, it's all over the place.